Here we go. Here we go. All right. Oh, where should we begin? Shannon Sharpe and Nick Wright. Nick Wrong is what I like to call him. They definitely got away with a lot. Yes, they did. Yep, they did. Yep, they did. Yep, they did. Now, here's the situation, right? They got away with boasting and bragging for a whole week about a doggone pandemic bubble championship. But let them have it. Let them have a moment, right? Let them have it. But this causes people to not know the difference, younger people, to believe what they were actually saying and take it at face value. Just because they're on television and saying it, it must be right. It must be because they're saying it on television. But I'm here to tell you that they're wrong. Shannon Sharpe, love the brother, good brother, but when it comes to things that he's very passionate and excited about, he focuses on the wrong things and he kind of depends on the wrong things to fit his narrative. This man said to defend LeBron James, saying that I know what he was trying to say, but what he said was wrong. So I'm here to clarify what he was actually saying. Now, when we look at Michael Jordan, right? And when he was coming to the NBA, he said nobody thought Michael Jordan was going to be anything in the NBA. Not like LeBron. They knew LeBron was the king already. He was the chosen one. Nobody thought Michael Jordan was going to do anything. If what you're trying to say is that nobody was given the keys to the NBA to Michael Jordan, is that what you're saying at the time? You have to understand something, Shannon, and I need you to understand this. Michael Jordan, by his sophomore year, after he hit that shot at the end of his freshman year, his sophomore year, he was tearing the league apart without James Worthy being there. It had become the Michael Jordan era. He won in his junior year. His junior and sophomore years was off the charts. He won the Naismith Award and the Wooden College Player of the Year awards before he left North Carolina. He was the third pick in the NBA draft. That lets you know they think he's going to be something. And not to mention, before all of this went down and he was drafted and all these things to go, he played in the Olympics before he played with the Bulls. The 1984 Olympic team that won the gold medal. Michael Jordan. What did Bob Knight say about Michael Jordan? He's the greatest basketball player I've ever seen in my life. He has yet to play one professional basketball game. And Bob Knight said, this is the greatest basketball player I've ever seen in my life. And when they did the Team USA game versus the NBA All-Stars, he got to play against Magic, Bird, Isaiah, everybody. And even Isaiah told you what? That 23, that guy right there, he different. He's different. Offensively, they've never seen anything like him. Now, they said, well, his game transferred over to the NBA. They saw him with NBA talent. I'm quite sure you can find it on YouTube. It's somewhere out here. You know that. Now, Shannon, your love for LeBron has blinded you. Your passion and the facts for LeBron has blinded you to the facts that you read final stats. You don't look at how things occurred during the game. Mostly because there's someone probably feeds you, the game's on too late, you got to go to bed, you got to get up early. I get it. It's your job. But to say a man who has no post game, a man who doesn't play off the ball, a man who doesn't play defense, and try to say he's the best basketball player in the world, a best basketball player in the world is not going to have all these detractions on his record. They don't have to question his defense. They're not going to have to question him playing off the ball. The best player should be the guy who could do everything. He excelled at everything that he did on the court. That should details, and that should be a part of it. You shouldn't have to try to omit it and say, oh, he's not that type of player. Then what the hell is he? If you're trying to say he's the greatest of all times. And that's for all you LeBron James fans that's listening right now. LeBron is not these things. Because he's not the greatest of all time. And this is why he's crying for respect 17 years in the league. 17 years and you're crying for respect? And you think they're going to give it to you now because you won a pandemic championship? No. So go take a lap, hit the showers. Now I'm through with you, Shannon. Now it's time to get your little counterpart. Now it's time for your little buddy to get it. Nick Wrong. I ignored Nick Wrong. And the reason I ignore him is because he's ignorable. He's not somebody that you should pay attention to. He's a sensationalist who thinks that statistics mean the actual game. And he came up with his case against Michael Jordan. That people start actually retweeting this and using this. And was like, Nick Wright broke it down. He broke it down to the ignorant. That's what he did. He broke this down to the ignorant. Because if you're ignorant, then right away, this appeases to you. You say, man, this is great. Ignorant don't mean you're dumb. Ignorant means you were never knowing in the first place. You're ignorant to what's going on. Ignorant is looked as a derogatory thing. It's to say you're an idiot, which means you're like incapable of learning it. No, you're ignorant to the facts because you guys have never learned it in the first place. They have brainwashed you from the jump. For the younger people, what's getting me is that the people that are old enough to know better are allowing this to happen to them. Now let's take this list. He named 5 things in his cases against Michael Jordan. He said Michael Jordan was a total loser without Scottie Pippen. Michael didn't win nothing before Scottie got there. Michael Jordan came in the league in 1984. Okay? 84, 85. As a rookie. What did he do? Not only winning Rookie of the Year, unanimously, and tearing up the league. Well, he didn't win it at that point, but he tore through the league, and they made the playoffs as a rookie. Did LeBron do that? The chosen king. Did he not have a better team than Jordan had when he came in the league? Huh? But your king couldn't get it done. But, like I said, LeBron was a teenager. Michael Jordan was 20-some years of age. You guys seem to understand that when it comes to an argument to defend LeBron, but don't understand it when it comes to the narrative of he was the fastest player to do this. I'm like, fastest is by age, not by seasons. Now, let's continue to go down this road. He played 2 years without Scottie Pippen. Did you realize that, Nick Wright? 2 seasons. His second season, he only played like 12 games. He was injured the entire season, came back to finish the season, and make the playoffs against Boston, where he had that record performance going against a team that is a dynasty. He's going against Kevin McHale, Larry Bird, Parrish. Did LeBron ever face anything like that in the first round of his whole career in the playoffs? He's only beaten one in 17 years. LeBron's only beaten 150-win team in the first round of the playoffs. Let that sink in. Take that for data, Nick Wright, or Nick Wrong. So this is what we're talking about when you said the East was weak. But we'll get to that because that's number 4 on this list. Let's go to number 2, which kind of ties into this. He never once beat Larry Bird. He played Larry Bird how many times in the playoffs? Twice. He played Larry Bird 2 times in the playoffs during his rookie years in the league. When he just came back from injury, where he averaged almost 40 points a game and fought and battled with the Boston Celtic team that's predicted to win the NBA championship. They weren't the number 1 seed. So you wanted him to beat the superpower, voted one of the best teams in the history of basketball, that Boston Celtic team, and said he never once beat Larry Bird. I never ranked Michael Jordan over Larry Bird. I always ranked Larry Bird over Michael, but you've made my case for that argument. But Michael is light years better than the guy you're trying to promote. Could never beat a super team. They beat the Detroit Pistons. That was a super team. According to Nick Wright, there were only 3 super teams: the Boston Celtics, the Detroit Pistons, and the Orlando Magic. Now, to me, this is the dumbest statement I've ever heard in my life. Because if the Orlando Magic was a super team, when did they become a super team? In 95? When they got Horace Grant, they became a super team? Shaq, Penny. Then you said that Michael, against them, his record is 2-6. How you figure that? He swept them in the playoffs the year he came back. He came back in a half of season, near 16 games before the playoffs. Came back after being out for 2.5 years. What super team was he supposed to face and not beat? He beat the Detroit Pistons in 91. You call them a super team. They fought him for all these years, and in 91, they got the victory. They moved on. Clyde Drexler and the Portland Trail Blazers, that wasn't a super team? I don't get it. The Phoenix Suns wasn't a super team? With Charles Barkley on there? The Houston Rockets, that was a super team, wasn't it? But he never got a chance to play them in the playoffs. So what you're saying to me, according to your what you classify as a super team, explain to me how the Orlando Magic is more of a super team than the New York Knicks. Because the New York Knicks, who you claim that they only had one Hall of Famer, and talking about it was Jordan, that's wrong. Patrick Ewing is a Hall of Famer. But that doesn't fit your argument. So you lied and omitted it. So you omitted the New York Knicks, who have accomplished way more than the Orlando Magic had at that time. Orlando was getting swept. Penny Hardaway's whole career, when he was with Orlando, with Shaq, was sweep, sweep, sweep. They got swept out by the Indiana Pacers his very first rookie year. Swept. They got swept in the NBA Finals by the Houston Rockets. Swept. Swept by the Chicago Bulls in the Eastern Conference Finals. Swept. 3-3-3. Shaq was out of there. Where the hell is the super team? How are they better than the Knicks? See, this is the thing you got to start questioning when y'all listen to morons like Nick Wright, who comes on television and give you nothing but lies. Feeds you nothing but lies, people. Wake up. Wake up. So he said Jordan couldn't be the super team. The Indiana Pacers, that wasn't a super team. Even though the Indiana Pacers, the Knicks, the Orlando Magic team, all of those teams would dog walk all the teams that they got right now in the league today. Every single one of them. Not to mention, this Laker team was the most pathetic championship team I've ever seen in my life. Pathetic. And would not even have stood a shot against any team that Jordan played on. Probably his rookie year, maybe. But this team was really pathetic. They didn't even shoot like 70% from the free throw line. It's like, are you kidding me? What is this guy good at? Please tell me. What is this guy he's promoting is good at? Oh, marketing? Yeah, that's it. All right. What was his next thing? Because he had 3. Jordan couldn't beat a super team, I guess, because he don't count them as super teams, even though he beat those guys. Now, let's look into this. Because I want to be kind of clear on this. We need to be very clear. Because people need to understand what's actually happening here. When you see the East was terrible, LeBron James played against a team with a losing record in the Eastern Conference first round playoffs. No one in the history of basketball has played a weaker era of basketball than LeBron James in the Eastern Division. It was so bad in the East that the NBA took away the Eastern All-Star game and made it Team LeBron versus Team whoever from another superstar, and mixed the teams and all the players together because the East didn't have any stars to appease your guy because he couldn't win a doggone All-Star game because they're saying there's no stars in the East. But you're going to definitely say the East was terrible for Michael Jordan. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Reggie Miller, Hall of Famer. Patrick Ewing, Hall of Famer. Knicks, Pacers. Okay? So at what point was the East terrible? I'm trying to find out what era during their championship runs. Is that what you're telling me? That during the Eastern, when they played in the East, when they played against the Knicks, when they played against the Atlanta Hawks, when they played against all of those teams, that the East was weak. The Atlanta Hawks with Dominique Wilkins would never be weak. Okay, that's not going to be a weak team to beat. The Indiana Pacers, there was nothing weak about the Indiana Pacers whatsoever. That was going to be a knock'em sock'em rivalry when you played them. The Knicks and Bulls, are you crazy? Oakley, Mason, Patrick Ewing out there, John Stark. Are you out your mind? The Orlando Magic that had Penny, Shaq, and Horace Grant when Horace Grant went over there. But before that, he was out of the picture. The Milwaukee Bucks were tough. You got to understand something, buddy. You don't know basketball as well as you think you do. Because to say that just shows you how terrible your knowledge is. Do you realize that Charles Barkley was almost MVP of the league in 1990? He really was, and they gave it to like Magic Johnson. The 76ers is one of the best teams in the NBA in 1990. They beat the Detroit Pistons every time they played them. It was the big Lambeer fight because they had beaten the Pistons by like 20-something points in that game, and it led to the Lambeer-Barkley fight that we know about. But what you didn't know about is how great that team was that year. They won the Atlantic Division. They were the best team in the East. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen destroyed them in the playoffs. Tore them up, the backcourt. Hawkins and Dawkins connection. Johnny Hawkins and Hershey Hawkins. Johnny Dawkins and Hershey Hawkins. And you had Rick Mahorn and Charles Barkley, thump and bump. That wasn't a super team? Huh, Nick? The East was weak? These are the guys y'all listen to. Now let's get to his final statement. His final thing that he wanted to point out to the world. Everyone won rings on Jordan's watch. This was almost like trolling. On Jordan's watch, Larry Bird won his last ring in 1986. Michael Jordan played a season and a half. A season and a half. Not even a season and a half. Okay? Not even a season and a half. And you wanted to count Larry Bird. Fine. Put Larry Bird on that. How is that Jordan's watch? But okay. Let's do that. Since we're going to play this game, Nick. We're going to play your game. You put Larry Bird on the list. Let's go through the list that he put. He put Larry Bird, Kareem, Magic, Isaiah, Hakeem Olajuwon, Drexler, Shaq, Kobe, David Robinson, and Tim Duncan. Okay? He named 10 players. But what he didn't tell you is that most of these players are on the same damn team. This whole list was made to entice and build up his popularity because it is so much of a farce, but it fits because the guy that they support is a farce. So this makes perfect sense that you would say something so moronic. Now, let's get to the gist of everything here. What do we know about this list? People winning titles under Jordan's watch. Bird won his last championship in 86, but Jordan was there, a season and a half, but he's Michael Jordan, so he should have stopped Larry Bird in the powerful all Boston Celtics, okay, according to Nick Wright, because LeBron would have done it, but he didn't. So, anyhow, let's go to the next one. Kareem and Magic, who won under Jordan's watch, who were in the West, who never played Jordan but 2 times in each season, They would have to go to the Western Conference Finals or to the NBA Finals to actually stop them. So I guess when it was Jordan's watch, he never stopped the Magic and Kareem show. But let's grant it, their last championship the Lakers ever won was in '88 against the Detroit Pistons. Michael Jordan played 3 seasons and a quarter. So for 3 years and a half, Michael Jordan was in the league 3 years and a half, ladies and gentlemen. And he was supposed to stop Kareem, Magic, another team that's in the top 5 greatest NBA teams and dynasties ever. The Celtics and the Lakers. He was supposed to stop them, even though he eventually beat Magic when he got there and won his first NBA championship. But let's not go there. Isaiah and the Detroit Pistons. Isaiah and the Detroit Pistons have been in the league longer than Michael Jordan. Isaiah's a better player than Michael Jordan, in my opinion. And he had a way better team than Michael Jordan. That team was a dynasty. That team was hard for them to beat. It took them years. They lost 3 years in a row to the Detroit Pistons to only beat them the 4th and final time. They overcame the hump and they never looked back. They never looked back. When they went and beat Detroit, they won 6 championships in a row. Can your guy do that? In the weakest East he's ever been, he went 10 straight times and couldn't get the job done. It's always someone else's job or that how could he beat that team? Anna, we ain't giving you that. Now, you said Hakeem and Drexler. Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler won a championship when Michael Jordan wasn't even in the league. Mike came back, played 16 games. Clyde teamed up with his old college teammate Hakeem Olajuwon and got him a ring in the twilight of his career. Hakeem only won championships when Mike wasn't there. When Mike came back in '96, it's not Mike's fault they didn't make it back. So that's ridiculous. Shaq and Kobe. Do you know that they dominated Shaq and Kobe every time they played them? The Bulls were dominating them. They were young. Well, Shaq wasn't young, but he's been embarrassing Shaq since he was in Orlando. And now when he got Kobe, they were beating him too. So you consider this under Jordan's watch. Wow. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Tim Duncan. So we're going to count Tim Duncan and David Robinson, who Michael Jordan throughout his entire career was winning NBA championships. They couldn't even get to the NBA Finals. David Robinson was MVP and Hakeem Olajuwon ate his lunch when Michael was gone. Patrick Ewing couldn't get rings. Barkley didn't get any rings for the East all those years. Then when he went in the West, he couldn't get it because of who? Michael Jordan. Reggie Miller couldn't get a championship while Mike was there. None of these guys could come up and get championships who people thought they could because Jordan was not going to allow you to get a championship on him. He's 6 for 6. That means he did not lose when he got there. LeBron lost when he got there. There's a major difference. Major difference. This is like comparing, if somebody's like, that's like comparing apples to oranges. No, it's like comparing an orange to an artificial orange that sits on the table for a centerpiece. Okay? One's real, one's fake. Trying to look like the real one. But everybody knows it's a fake. That's what this is. That's exactly what this is. But since Nick was so much in favor of telling us all these people that won under the watch of our good old way to go, good guys, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, all these people on Jordan's watch, he had 10 players, superstars. Okay. Let's look at what happened on LeBron watch. Shall we do that, ladies and gentlemen? Let's see who he stopped. Did he stop Dwayne Wade? Did he stop Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, Ben Wallace, Tony Parker? Did he stop Tony? Tony Parker, who won on his watch? Ginobili? Should I keep going? Oh, we know he didn't stop Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce. Did he stop Kobe and Pau Gasol? I could throw Ron Artest in there and Lamar Odom. Put Lamar Odom. All right, fine, load it up. Did he stop Dirk Nowitzki, Jason Kidd, and Jason Terry? Did he stop them? I'm running out of hands. This happened on his watch. Kawhi Leonard. Did he stop Kawhi Leonard? Did he stop him from getting a championship? Oh, what about Steph Curry, ladies and gentlemen? Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. Where should I go? Draymond Green, Kevin Durant. Did he stop them? Iguodala. All this happened on his watch. Kawhi got another ring on him. All on his watch. You let Kyle Lowry, Pascal, and Kawhi Leonard win. All on your watch. Now you got a pandemic championship. Right? And now everybody is raving stark mad. Well, now that I've debunked all of these lies that they've told you with facts, using their own garbage theories, throwing it right back in their face, let's see how many of y'all remember that. Karceno was the one to do it. And don't forget to support the page. Keep the machine moving, as they've been trying to use every blacklist tactic in the world against me. But we still fight. My Cash App is Karceno, Karceno. Hit the like button, because it does matter. Subscribe to the page. Hit that notification bell so they can know that you're a real human being and not some bot. Because they love to lie. So we got to beat the liars and sinners. So once again, thanks for your time. Oh yeah, the Patreon is on fire today. So You get to hear the ending conversations, what happened with Harry and my man Chappelle. That went left. It's real fast. But yeah, some other interesting stuff in there. You learn the truth about Serena Williams and a lot of other good stuff. I'm out.